Hello, I'm Chris Casa with Casa Financial. Today we're going to talk about credit card debt, but not just how you might have always heard about credit card debt. Yes, it is bad if you carry a balance. Credit cards can be, for some people, wonderful if they are into the points programs. I'm against it, but what I really want to talk today about is if you're running a balance, please don't add anything else to that balance. We're going to show the true impact that has, and it's devastating, and it'll make you go crazy as soon as you see this. So, first, we'll go through some of the typical things that you might see with credit cards. First, will be that the country of the United States is approaching $1.1 trillion as of April 22nd, 2026. That's according to the Federal Reserve. The interest on credit card debt is now at 21%, again, by the Federal Reserve. And delinquencies, they've dropped a little bit compared to 2024, but right now we're at the end of 2025 at 2.94% delinquency rate. So not too good. It has creeped up. Lending Tree put together this based on the Federal Reserve information and then their customers. What is the average credit card debt that U.S. consumers have in the quarter 3 of 2025? And I picked, as you can see, Montana is ranked 26. So it's about in the middle. $7,412 on average. The higher end is approaching $10,000 for like places like Connecticut, California, Texas, Florida, the darker green areas that you see there, and the lighter green, more in the like the $4,000 to $5,000 range. Like I believe it was Mississippi was the lowest. But we're going to take that $7,412 and throw it into an Excel spreadsheet. And right here, I have this credit card payoff calculator. You've probably seen various credit card calculators before, but this is a little bit different. So please bear with me. It will just take a couple seconds to get to, or about a minute, to get to where I want to really show you the impact of adding an extra purchase to a credit card that you already are running a balance on. The first thing I want to impress, and I'll zoom this in a little bit so you can see here in the top left area is take home hourly pay. That's one number that I really want to impress upon that you should know by heart, at least round it to the nearest dollar. It is whatever your typical paycheck is divided by the amount of hours that you work per that paycheck. If you work 40 hours a week, take whatever your take home pay is, divide by 40, because that is the money that you have for all your expenses, all your savings, everything, after everything that comes out of your paycheck, taxes, medical, whatever. So I just plugged in here $25. That's not my actual numbers. Plugged in that $7,412 that Montana average balance that people that are running a balance in Montana have right now. That 21% interest that the Federal Reserve says is the average interest rate. And minimum monthly payment. Sometimes your credit card statement, if it's really low, it might just say you just need to pay like $25 or whatever. Depending on the credit card company, usually it'll run around 1% to 3% of your current balance. So I put in 2%, which is $148.24, and then a what if payment if you could afford $200. But we'll talk a lot about the minimum monthly payment. Right now, you're looking at 10 years to pay this off. If you pay the minimum monthly payment the whole time during this balance of $7,412. What else does that mean? It means you're paying $10,000 right here, $10,000 in interest for that $7,000 in purchases that you had. Total $17,768. Now, if you do $200, it kind of cuts the time almost in half. So that's a good thing. And you can add in, if it's $250, obviously it goes down more. $195 goes up a little bit, but we'll just keep it at that $200 for right now. Now here's where the $25 an hour that you take home in the scenario really matters. This is how much work it took you to pay off this credit card. So just the interest, it takes 414 hours of your hard work to pay off that interest. That is crazy. A 40-hour work week, you're looking at over 10 weeks. 10 weeks. It's like 3 months almost to pay that off. The whole thing, 710 hours. Most people that work 40 hours a week pull in 2,080 hours a year. So you're looking at about a quarter of your year is spent on just for nothing else but to pay something that you already consumed and bought that's in the past. You're paying for the past all the time when you have a credit card and you run a balance. Even when you have a credit card and you don't run a balance, you pay it off every month. You're still paying for something that already happened. So just my big emphasis is to use a debit card. But 710 hours. Okay, so this is the big thing. You're running a balance, $7,412. And as I'm filming this right now, it is May 3rd, which is a Sunday. 1 week from now is Mother's Day. And we all want to show our appreciation to mom. So you may say, hey, there's this $200 whatever, purse, appliance, something that you think your mom will enjoy that you want to buy because you love mom. Or you might have a graduate that's in your family or a friend or something like that for high school graduations, college graduations, all around this time, and you want to spend this money for this gift. So let's be real and add everything in, be very realistic. I live in Texas, so the sales tax is 8.5%. So we're really already looking at a $217 purchase. It went from $200 to $17 more. When you add that on, what it does is it goes to the end of your credit card balance. That's what you're paying off. It's at the very end because you added to it. So we're taking these same table and graphs and replicating it down here. But with the $217 extra, look, your monthly payment the months to pay off is 134. 134. Went from 120 to 134. The interest now is almost 12,100. You're looking at almost 20 grand that you're paying between the minimum payment and your purchases. And even if you pay off a little bit extra, just the $50, $51.76, you're still paying $12,695, $5,000 in interest. This is where it really gets crazy. This text readjusts based on your inputs. So the extra $217, 14 months, like we just talked about, additional $1,742. So your $217 purchase has 1,742% or $1,742 in interest. So your true cost for that $200 is really almost $2,000. That $217, going back to that $25 an hour, well, just that alone, if you pay for it in cash, that's 8 hours, 8.68 hours of your take-home pay. Is that worth it? I know it's mom, but you're trying to pay off these things. That's a whole day's worth of work for you. By the time you pay off all those other purchases and then this $217, or by the time you pay off all the other purchases and this extra purchase that eats up 69 hours of your take-home pay, was that worth it? So grand total, to pay everything off, if you added this $217, you're looking at 483 hours to pay off just the interest, and then 789 hours total to pay off the interest and the balance. Is that worth it? I don't think so. We still want to celebrate mom. We still want to celebrate the graduates. Can you do something that's a lot less expensive? Can you repurpose things? Can you do something to spend time with them with minimal expense? Can you make a meal for mom? Go to the grocery store, buy some food, $40 versus $200. We have to start thinking differently. We're not going to get ahead. You're not going to build wealth. And the reason why I put this time of your hours worked is because that's how wealthy people really think. Not the high income people that spend a lot, but really millionaires that have assets of $1 million or more. It's proven. Read The Millionaire Next Door. Read Dave Ramsey's books that Chris Hogan did for looking at the 10,000 millionaires that they interviewed. Wealthy people think of money as an exchange for their time and effort. So how much money and time am I using to buy a new vehicle? This is why millionaires really drive Toyota. That's their number one brand. Toyota. And then I believe the next is Subaru and Honda. Yeah. It's not Mercedes. It's not Land Rover. And they're used. If you want to be wealthy, you have to think differently, start changing behaviors. I can help you if you want. There's a lot of free resources. If that works for you, please do them. If you need help, I have a 1-hour free consultation that we get to know each other and decide if we can work together. And it can go from there. Go to costofinancial.com. I'll put the link also in this video. And please, let's all get wealthy. Reduce our debt. We don't need it.